Shabbat Tov, everyone. Welcome back to Tell Stories for Saturday night. The title of this week's video is Cossack Get Up. I compiled and adapted this story from various Hasidic written and oral traditions. Rabbi Aryeh Leib, known as the Shpoler Zeide, Zeide's grandfather, a nickname given to him by the Baal Shem Tov at his circumcision, but that's a different story for a different time. He was famed as a miracle worker and devoted to the relief and aid of poor Jews in distress. In his early years, he was a disciple of Rabbi Pinchas of Koretz, a leading figure of the first generation of Hasidism. He passed away on the 6th of Tishrei, 4 days before Yom Kippur in the year 1811. Once, he led the congregation in prayer on a Friday night in the shul of Rabbi Avraham the Angel, who was the son of the Maggid of Mizrich, who was the successor to the Baal Shem Tov. After the singing of L'chod Odi, the Zeide danced for a long time, wondrous dances, spinning around and round with astonishingly quick and graceful steps. Those watching saw his tremendous enthusiasm and felt that he seemed to cast off his material self in joyous dance. Watching the Zeide dance, the Malach was extremely moved. Afterwards, he went over to him and said, "I see that you're an expert in the art of dancing. It is also apparent that you know the secrets of dancing before the Shabbos bride and queen, unifying the holy four-letter name of God with every step of yours. Tell me, where did you learn to dance so beautifully?" The Zeide said he had learned the secret from the Baal Shem Tov, the secret of dancing from the Baal Shem Tov, and the art of dance from Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah the prophet. This is the story he told to explain his words. During the period when the Zeide was traveling from town to town in self-imposed exile, there's a background story that indicates this started while he was in jail, having been arrested, but that's another story for another time. So while he was traveling, he heard about a village Jew who had not paid his rent to the local poritz, the local landowner, the local lord of the landlord. While this poritz was not an especially evil man, his estate manager was a wicked drunkard and a Jew hater who persuaded the nobleman to punish the Jewish village severely. There was a deep pit in the poritz's courtyard where prisoners were let down by rope. Once a week, although it seems like it must be once a day, once a week a little bread and water was sent down to the unfortunate man inside. The prisoner would remain in the pit until the poritz's next birthday, when he would be taken out, dressed in a bear skin, and led by a man who would be known as the bear keeper, who was an expert dancer. The bear and his keeper would go to the poritz's lavish birthday party, to which all the noblemen from the surrounding countryside was invited, as well as the poritz's family and friends. Then, the bear keeper would signal the band to strike up a tune. If the Gentile keeper was able to dance better than the Jewish bear, the Jew would be thrown to the ground and cruel guards would seize him and hurl him at a pack of vicious dogs. If, however, the Jew danced better than his keeper, he would be set free. Not only that, he would be given permission to attack his keeper and beat him to death. Naturally, it was next to impossible for the Jewish prisoners to save themselves, as they did not know how to dance to the Gentile tunes. Not only that, but the prisoners were exhausted and weakened by their long ordeal in the pit, and the heavy bearskin they were forced to wear made moving difficult. From the start, they were doomed. Elijah, the Shpoler Zeide said, commanded me to go to the village and hire myself out as a tutor. Once there, I was to find out how it was possible to free the Jewish prisoner in the pit. After I discovered where the pit was located on the poritz's property, Elijah ordered me to take the Jew out of the pit and put myself in his place, so that on the poritz's birthday I would dance better than my keeper. I told him, but I don't know how to dance, and certainly could not dance better than the keeper, who's chosen for being a good dancer. He then taught me all kinds of dances and their names. When I knew the dance steps perfectly, I lowered myself into the poritz's pit, calmed the prisoner, and refreshed him with a little whiskey. Then I switched clothes with him. The prisoner went up on the ladder I had lowered, pulling it up behind him, and I stayed in the pit in his place, awaiting the big day. It came at last. At midnight, I heard drunken laughter and slurred words. From them, I learned that my keeper would be the wicked estate manager. He pulled me out of the pit and dressed me in a bearskin. Then he led me with a rope around my neck in front of the merrymakers to the Paritz's palace. I crawled on all fours, so that it should not occur to them that I was not the same Jew, and groaned as if I was in pain and unable to walk. My arrival was greeted with raucous laughter. All the guests were highly amused at the spectacle of a humiliated Jew. When the signal to begin was given, an announcement was made. If the bear danced best, he would be set free. If not, the dogs would teach him to dance. There was more loud laughter from the guests. A lively Cossack tune began, and my keeper, the estate manager, began to dance. I began to dance too, but slowly and sluggishly, as would be appropriate for a half-starved man who hadn't stretched his legs in weeks. The audience enjoyed it immensely, as they waited for me to drop in my place, exhausted. To their surprise, I gradually stepped up my pace, until finally I was dancing more quickly and also more beautifully than the shocked estate manager. He tried to keep up, but in his drunkenness he lost his balance and fell to the ground. The audience switched their preference as they cheered me on and mercilessly taunted the fallen keeper. I too made fun of him and began to sing in time with the Gentile music. Hop Cossack, ha 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 ha, hop Cossack, get up if you can. Hop hop, hop Cossack, ha 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 ha, hop Cossack, get up if you can. Then I jumped on him with a bear's roar and began to rain blows on him until some of the guests stopped me. The Pirates could not accept my victory and once again gave the signal for another round of music to start. It was a different melody this time, a mazurka, which is a Polish circle dance for couples, characterized by stamping feet and clicking heels. But the result was the same. The Jew in the bearskin danced wonderfully while the Gentile fell to the ground and was beaten. At last I was declared the winner and set free. The Shpoler Zeide finished his story and smiled. Now you can understand where I learned to dance so well. Rabbi Avraham replied, if so, your dances are better than our prayers. For your information, Chabad is a musical tradition for this tune and often sing it lustily at Hasidic gatherings. To hear it, do a search on Chabad.org. As in the story, it starts slow and then goes fast. Search there also for the more grandiose Avraham Fried version. Or send me a request for the links.